I'm Whitney Sullivan with RT Book Reviews, and I am here with the fantastic author Mingmei Yip. Mingmei Yip has written several books in English, but they're all set in Asia. Well, mostly take place in Asia. And it's her newest book, The Skeleton Woman, that we are here to chat about today. So, Mingmei, I have got
Good morning.
Good morning. I have got to ask you, can you tell me what a skeleton woman is?
Okay, this is a phrase a lot of people, when they heard about it, they say, oh, I got the chill. And some of my readers said, is it about voodoo, something voodoo, and someone adds it about an anorexic woman. No, that's not, that's not the case. Actually, it's a very, I won't say very popular, but in many years ago, I think it was popular. It's a phrase to describe beautiful, talented, scheming women. The reason they call skeleton woman is because not they are skeleton. It's because they can turn you into a skeleton, turn man, of course, woman too, needless to say. Turn man into a skeleton just with a blink of the masqueraded eye, and with a touch as soft as silk or as tender as a baby's breath. They are so powerful because they're beautiful, they're talented, they're scheming. That's the most important part.
Oh, that sounds absolutely fantastic. Can you tell me how I become one?
You want to become
Well, maybe not, because I know that you've written such a great one in, is her name Camilla?
Yeah, the protagonist in my novel.
How do you say her name?
Camilla.
Camilla.
Yeah, just like the flower, but a different spelling.
I always wonder when I talk to authors, because I know I make up the way that they sound in my head, but it's never the way that it actually is. So, Camilla. And your heroine in The Skeleton Woman, Camilla, isn't just beautiful and stunning and talented. She is a musician and an assassin, right?
Yeah.
So what inspired you about this? That's a lot to do. I can barely get out of bed in the morning.
Because when I first heard about skeleton women, actually I heard about it a long time, but I suddenly, some occasion that I heard about it again, I said, okay, that's a novel idea there. And then, of course, I start to research. And Camilla, the protagonist in my novel, of course, is, everything, beautiful, talented. But the most important is because she's an orphan. Yeah, because actually she was rescued when she was like early teen, but she didn't know that actually the person who rescued her actually is a gangster head, a very powerful gangster head, and she trained Camilla to be an assassin and a spy, and because because he wanted to topple his most bitterest rival, the most powerful, another most powerful gangster head in Shanghai. So this is actually a crime novel too.
Yes.
Because it involves spies, assassinations, all kinds of things. And I want to say it's a lot of scheming in this novel. And because, my background is academic, so I study a lot of a lot of aspects of Chinese culture. And I'm very fascinated by a book called The Art of War, which is a very famous book because a lot of entrepreneurs, businessmen, actually some classes, they have to learn this book because it's about how to scheme and you win the battle. And the best phrase in that Art of War, written 2,500 years ago, is called to win without fighting. That's the best. You don't have to do anything. So it's all here. So I have a lot of quotes of this Art of War, and another scheming book, ancient, classic, is called the 36 Stratagems. How to scheme and how to win the battle, and the last one is run. You better run out of options, just run away. So I sprinkle all these schemes in the novel to make the novel much more interesting, related to ancient Chinese philosophy too. So Camilla in my novel is just well versed in all this scheming.
Absolutely. Now, you touched on something that I'm really intrigued by, which is the gangs in your novel. Can you tell me, what kind of research did you have to do into those gangs?
Actually, in the 1930s, Shanghai, where my novel is set, and earlier, actually in the 20s, there were two really huge, most powerful gangs. And then they, of course, they're good friends with the police. Right. They just, everybody was corrupted in that era. And one is called the Green Gang, and other is called the Hong Gang. They always fought against each other.
Right?
All kinds of games, because you can't just by brute force if you want to win the battle.
Right.
This is the most important. This is secondary, as we all know. Even if you're a boxer, you have to use this to win.
Exactly.
This is secondary. So I researched a lot, and some actually the main character, the Gan Hag, actually I somewhat based on that person that get the crime lord
Okay.
in the 20s Shanghai. Yeah.
So which gang was that?
One is called the Green Gang.
The Green Gang.
The other is called the Hong Gang.
The
I mean,
Hong Gang.
it's just a name in Chinese. Yeah.
So that sounds a little bit like the 1920s here in America. So if
The mafia. Just like,
yeah, exactly. So my next question is really about Camilla and her men. Because even though this is a mainstream novel, so readers might not find the type of romance that they'd normally expect, this does have some very sexy romantic elements. So can you tell me about, Camilla has this horrible choice to make, beautiful man or beautiful man, and can you tell me about the two men who she's torn between?
Okay. It's a lot of conflict and tension from beginning to end, of course.
Yes,
It's a
of
crime
course.
novel, it's a thriller, suspense, all kinds of things. It's because Camilla worked as a spy to assassinate, the crime lord. That's the most powerful one.
Okay.
She worked for the second most powerful.
Yes.
Okay, but unfortunately, she kind of like the crime lord, the one she's going to assassinate, falls in love with her. Completely smitten by her. It's because she's beautiful and she sings like an angel. We have a Chinese saying that she can lure the birds to come down from the tree because her singing.
I love it.
Yeah, and I have because I'm a singer myself. I'm a musician, so I there is a scene I particularly like is every morning she goes to the river, the famous river in Shanghai, Huangpu River, and before the sun rises, she practice singing until the sun rises and reflect on the reflection on the river, and she sing to the reflection on the river. Why? It's because when she sing to the rising sun, she welcome. Her singing has a welcoming quality, and also because it's very warm, the ray. It's not the bright sun yet, so she has this warm quality, and also she can sing very high pitch, or because of the sun, the inspiration of the sun. And then when it's reflected on the river, it's an yin quality. That's the yang quality and the yin quality, and also because then her voice can also sing deep into the ocean. So her range is like this, and it's full of warmth and mystery. That's why she's so attractive to men. So of course, I mean, she's not supposed to fall in love with the guy. I mean, the one who's going to assassinate son. So that's the first kind of like conflict. Of course, there's a lot going on.
Yes,
I'm not going to tell.
No, you aren't going to tell me the whole novel.
It also happens that crime lord is going to assassinate also has the most trusted, handsome, hunky bodyguard. Ooh.
Steamy.
So one is delicate man, refined. You know, kind of like a dandy, very rich because his father is rich, and another is hunky body guy, kind of rough, tough.
Yeah.
But we have a Chinese saying, "It's a tender man with a soft heart." I mean, an Iron Man. That's the phrase, an Iron Man, because he's tough, but with a heart like silk.
Yes, it sounds.
So of course, can you resist a man like that? And he's very protective of you.
I have the one that Camilla doesn't want?
I don't remember.
Well, that's okay. We can't tell you guys yet. You have to read the book to find out.
Oh, let's show
let's show this gorgeous book cover.
Yeah.
Look at that. Doesn't that just make you want to snatch it right off the shelves?
I mean, you can imagine her to be Camilla.
Yes, absolutely. And it matches so nicely
Oh,
with you.
yeah,
We've got
thank
this
you.
beautiful
Oh, thank you.
togetherness. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Now, that's not the only similarity that you have with Camilla, because you are also an artist yourself. So can you talk to me a little bit about what it was like to be so inspired by a creature who is so inspiring herself, your new heroine?
I am very fortunate, I have to say, because I learned the four arts, so-called the Chinese literary four arts, when I was very young, like a teenager. And so, and then I became like, I was like, not like, and then I was a professor in Hong Kong. So I did a lot of research on different things, on painting, calligraphy, poetry, and Chinese music. That's why I think this background really helped me a lot in doing my research. And also because, of course, I'm not preaching in my novel.
Right.
Never. It's just
it just all happens.
entertaining, and people, can take lessons about life or whatever, after they read it. That's about human relationship and how you survive. That's the most important, because I think I'm surviving myself, how to beat the odds.
Yes.
Here, to beat the odds and then be very successful in life. And that's actually my message, in the novel. So, so I think all these different things that I do, like calligraphy, painting, poetry, all this, help with the novel because I sprinkle, and then so my protagonists, you know, they have two of my protagonists actually. The first one is Peach Blossom Pavilion because it's the story about the last Chinese geisha.
This was your debut novel, correct?
Yeah.
And so readers can find this on the shelves right now.
Yeah.
And she is a geisha, but she also plays the qin, right? So it's an ancient Chinese instrument. So what is it that speaks to you about these women who can do so much that you yourself can do, who have musical abilities and fantastic mental capabilities?
Sometimes, actually, after I finish reading a novel, writing a novel, I do feel that I become friends with all these people because they're really good friends. And not only that, I mean, it's strange to say that, but I do feel that they also become my teachers. Actually, I created them, right? I mean, all these characters. But then because I put so much into them, like Camilla in Skeleton Woman, you know, she has to escape her fate. I mean, how? I mean, you squeeze between two most powerful gangs and you fall in love with the crime lost son and his bodyguard. And if you found out, you know, okay. So somehow then after I finished, because as people say that just like your child, they have the life of their own, the novel. So I become friends with them, and then I really feel that they are my teachers. I can learn so much from them.
Well, and I think you aren't the only one. I think as readers, we also take a lot from the characters that authors create.
I hope so.
And they, you know, they also become our friends. So, speaking of new friends that you're going to make, like Camilla, can you tell me a little bit about your next project?
The next project actually is sort of like a sequel. Because it's so much material about the crime world, you know, in the 30s Shanghai. So I have a lot of material in the sequel. But of course, I mean, as you also know, that I write it as a sequel, but also completely independent book because people don't have to read the first one to enjoy the second.
That's always nice.
Yeah, because Camilla's, of course, I mean, Camilla's is there, but, and then she runs into many new characters. And also, of course, the ending is I wrap up everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So Camilla will not be the heroine in your next novel, but it will be set in the same era?
She's still the heroine, but she met new characters, a lot of new people.
Very fun.
Yeah, and new branching out her adventure. But then finally, of course, she's going to... I can't tell too much.
It will wrap up.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fantastic. And writing for adults isn't the only type of writing you do. You also have a children's book, correct?
Yeah, actually, I have written 2 children's books.
Ooh, 2 children's books.
But one hasn't come out yet.
Oh, okay, good.
But I already had in the manuscript and everything.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so this is my first one.
Ooh.
Called the Chinese Children's Favorite Stories.
I love it.
There are 13 traditional Chinese tales retold by me, and I also did all the illustrations.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this one actually has been doing very well because a lot of like families with adopted Chinese children, they really love this book because the kids can learn Chinese culture, the root through this because it's traditional stories. So, and now I just hand in all the manuscript for a second one coming out 2013 next year. Yeah, so I'm very happy.
Have something else to look forward to.
I hope so.
Thank you so much, Miss Yip, for coming out. Absolutely. And fans can find The Skeleton Woman on shelves this week and look forward to next year's books, which will have another Camilla story for adults and another children's story. Thanks again, Miss Yip.
Thank you so much for having me.